Alright, so I'm just racing out here. It's a Sunday and our third cow of the day is in. And this is a Belgian blue, not the cow, the calf. And I just wanted to be sure that everything's alright, because I looked in the camera and I thought I could only see 1 foot. And that wouldn't be good. Don't tell me that's only 1 foot. Oh, it's 2 feet. Ah, thankfully. I thought I could only see 1 foot. 1 foot would be bad news. Definitely a Belgian blue, I can tell already by looking at his legs. You're alright, yeah. Decent size, but not too big. She'll be alright there now until making time. We're making about 5:30 this evening. And hopefully it might have sucked by then, but it hasn't been feeded ourselves. Why I mentioned 1 foot. We've seen it all here at this stage, and also on the farms I've worked on in the past. I've seen calves coming with 1 foot. I've seen calves coming with backwards, with just a tail. That is the worst one. Then you can get a head with no feet. You can also get feet with no head. I've seen that where I've had to put in a rope with a hook on it, and I had to try to hook it into the calf's nose. The calf's head would be doubled back, try to pull the nose forward, and also at the same time bear in mind you're putting up with a hell of a pressure of the cow trying to push the calf out, so you're trying to push the calf actually back into her. It's the only way you can get it sorted. Even if a leg was backwards, the only way to fix that is to push the calf back in as far as you can push it in. And it's not easy. It's certainly not an easy thing, and I've seen battles. I have a dirty little secret in here, in the house here beside me. And that dirty little secret is a shed that hasn't been cleaned out. It's scrap out, but it hasn't been power washed down, and for cows it definitely needs that. It also needs to be sterilised. Now the good thing is, once again, just looking here, I don't have to touch the pallets. They're fine. There's no point in rooting at work that we don't need to do. We'll have calves coming down here in the next week and a half, so it needs to be ready. So I'm just soaking it with water now. I'll let it sit then overnight and I'll tackle it in the morning. It'll be half the battle trying to power wash it once it's wet like that. But just to show you where I'm getting the water from, I'm hitting 2 stones with 1 board. 1 board, 2 stones. Over here in the corner we have a little concrete drinker for our cows to take a little quick drink when they come out from the milking parlour. But as you can see there, it's lovely and tasty looking because Bo decided that the whole yard wasn't big enough to take a number 2. So she decided she'd, look, I'll do it in the drinker. Why not? So she did it in the drinker. So you're with me now on a cold, very, very cold Wednesday morning. But this ground here, the stuff is still very stuck to the ground because we've been cleaning it and with calf dung and them tramping it, and there's grooves kind of in this concrete to stop animals from slipping, because this was originally built as a calving pen. Originally going to be all bedded for a cow to calve, and lots of cows have calved in here. But then when we did the other house, which is behind that wall, we used this then as a calf house. I do have plans to extend it. There's always plans in farming, but one day it'll be extended 2 more bays that direction, and it will still become a calf house, but it will have hutches the whole way down rather than a loose pen, because at the very end of it then we will have a door going into what will be our big open calf house. So there's always plans. It's nice to have plans, whether you get them done or not, it doesn't matter. It's nice to have good intentions. I have to also remember to not face my barrel towards the exhaust of the power washer, or that happens. Alright, so a few hours has passed, and that is that job done. Now I'll come in here, I have the shovel just put in front of it ready to start. I'm going to scrape them pallets as clean as I can possibly get them. I have to be really careful in this house of power washing the walls. This is a mass concrete wall, no issue there. But when you come along to the rest of the walls, you see that we have quite a problem with the plaster in here. Back about 10 years ago, I suppose, I built this here. And it took me a couple of weeks just to build the blocks. I roofed it and all. I used some of the old galvanized we'd taken off. I think it was off that shed there, because we lost the roof of it in a storm. But when it went up above, it landed on top of the hill above it, by the way, all in one piece. And I was able to pick out some of the sheets that were okay and reuse them here. Hence the reason you can see unintentional ventilation from the old nail holes. And one job I just never got round to ever bothering doing was plastering. I never liked plastering. My father loved plastering. A friend of mine recommended a fella, he was a Polish lad, and I think he's long gone back to Poland, but he was plastering, and he was recommended, he was very, very good. And I have to say, when he came, he walked like a bear. I've never seen a lad like it to work, and seemed a really nice lad, and he was. But whatever way, whether it was the cement or whether it was the sand, I don't know, or whether it just wasn't mixed right, everything he plastered about a year or 2 years after started to fall off. It never dried out like what plaster should be, like a nice white colour like that there. Well, that's damp, but whitish colour like that there. It was always dark, it always looked as sandy, and enough of cement was put in it, that's for sure. It just didn't seem like it was mixed right, so we got a lot of this stuff coming off. You can see there, you're right back down to where it was scudded. We'll have to strip them walls off. It won't be terribly hard to do, and we'll have to replaster them walls eventually. They're alright, it's not the end of the world. But it is done now and finished. We'll just let it dry out and scrape out the rest of that in 3-4 days time when it's completely dry. After it's disinfected, calves will be going in there. A Thursday morning, so it is. And I'm just going to here to start milking, and I'm not going to be able to start milking just right away because this girl here's got the feet out. She's got the 2 front feet out. I'm not going to touch her yet, leave her alone. Let her calve, she's a big cow. We have got word here now that we're about to get the worst windstorm that Ireland possibly ever had. That's what they're saying. So we're going to have to go into full preparation mode today, tie the whole place down as much as we can tie down. We're also going to, an electrician, a friend of mine, I've rung him yesterday, is coming to fit in a changeover switch, and I'm away today to try to get a generator. Likelihood of the power going off is very, very high, so we need to get the preparations in place. We don't want to repeat what happened before with a long outage and no generator. Just looking around our yard here, and you can see all the straps that we've put around every door the whole way up. I bought a load of straps. The far side of the house, or this shed, is the exact same. Put bags along the bottoms here as well. It's now gone 12 o'clock in the day, so the red warning has been lifted. It's very, very wild yet, but we haven't escaped without damage. It was by far the worst storm that I've ever witnessed. I haven't been asleep yet because I was actually watching on this heifer to calve, and my stomach was actually sick with nerves because I was really worried that our farm was going to get severely damaged, and I'm happily glad to tell you it's not too bad, but we have damage. Our calving pen, yes, our wall came down and it pulled our internet system here, which runs our cameras and runs our collars. It tossed that down as well, so yeah. Well, you probably can't hear because I'm wearing a mic, but that roof has been pushed right in still, so it is. Our skylights here are starting to pull off. We have a couple of skylights gone already. I'm not worried about that. But this is the problem. But you can see there, you can see the pressure. I don't know if you can see it there on the camera, but it's very, very loud here at the minute. I hope you can hear me. But you can see the way the roof is all bowed in, if you can make that out. So there's a serious pressure of wind being pushed against that roof yet. So that is what brought the wall down. It's not the wind actually on the wall itself, it's the roof above. When that calving pen or this building was put up, the company we got to do the steel work done a great job, but they made one vital mistake. And the vital mistake was this beam here. With the southwesterly winds that comes behind there should have been a beam going from the top right to the ground. So they put up the frame, then I came along and built the walls then when the frame was already up. I'm just going to stand back there because it's getting wild again. It's not easy like it's supposed to. But having no beam there and such a span of roof that's getting so hit by wind, it pushed in and it pushed the wall in. That's what was happening. You can see the way the blocks are attached. So that's the way they attached it to the top of the wall. It should have went the whole way to the ground. So to fix this actually isn't that hard. We need to break that wall down now. It's still half standing, but we need to break it down and we need to put a solid beam the whole way to the floor. And then we need to build our walls. We'll probably use solid blocks this time. I built it with cavity blocks, but I filled a lot of the cavities about halfway up with concrete as I was building them. And there's steel rods in it as well. That's why the bottom half didn't crack or didn't move at all. It's just the 1, 2, 3, 4, the last 4 row blocks that give. So at the minute anyway, our collar system won't be working, our camera system won't be working. I hope to fix that maybe later on tonight. I'm going to work away tonight and try to get stuff restored. Cheat this up with something just to block it for now, just to get over this spell. I still have the lower calving pen here, and that's where we'll calve our animals. Now we'll move the bale up to the upper side where the tractor is, and when the wind quits, we'll sheet that up with plywood. I'll weld a frame or a bar from that there over to this H-beam behind the tractor and push it back out again and just brace it, and that will hold it for now. I should have did that before this storm happened. I'm disappointed in myself for that, but I didn't do it. There's no point in crying about it now. And I can't hook up a generator because it's too windy and both tractors are holding roofs down and I can't afford to move any of them. The cows are roaring like mad behind me, but they're going to have to accept that I can't milk at the moment. So we make our way up here then. You'll see that the big 2,000 gallon tank is doing, well, it's a big paperweight basically. The quad trailers went for a wee spin on its own. These straps here, we put loads of them right in underneath and underneath the wall, and that's given that roof a hell of a support. In here, this is a very vulnerable roof, but we have it all tied down here to the slurry tanker. Loads of ratchet straps on everywhere. Anywhere we can put a ratchet strap, we put one. We have this roof nearly bowed, we put so much pressure on it, nearly lifting the front of the tractor up. And same at the back, we have it pulling down. There's a hell of a tension on that there. We spent about 3 hours yesterday. Myself and my sister helped me, and we tied down as much as we could. You even see the trailer there is chained around it, and it's actually nearly off the ground as well, sheerly pulling down that roof. Bloody wind and the tractor open too. When you see down there, I'll bar you in a second. Go into our cows. Now the cows are going to be very loud. They're not happy. They want in to get milked. There's a skylight gone there, it's blown out. The thing was paper tin anyway, it's rotten. So I'll get a mate of mine to come in next week and put a new skylight on that. The other skylight here is starting to rip up now. It's only starting to go now. And that's because the wind is coming in here now and driving it up, so it might wake it and it mightn't. That is strong wind there now. I got the hard one, you got the easy one. Yes. No, this. Oh no. First difficult, this one. Hold. Oh, don't walk in the dung. On. Oh, you're first difficult. I don't know why I always pick the hard ones. Right there. You get up on his back. Hardly, no. Probably not a good idea. Right. You grab that gate. Gold's coming here flying with another one. Nice in the gate. There you go. Oh, you picked the stubborn one. That's the stubborn one. You'll have to put the jacket around the other side of that leg too. Tough how life this farming. That's what it is. So they'll be very excited now for the next wee while, won't ya? I must have to tie up them straps again on them jackets. They're tired for coming loose, and all the calves want to do is suck them. I have to keep tucking them in and putting a knot around them, just like that there, but never stay up. If I was designing a jacket, I would have buckles, just like here on the front, like them there. Do away with all of those quick releases and just put steel buckles with a Velcro thing around it that you can just, like your belt, you can just tuck it in. And that's the way I would design them. Much, much better. In the front of them jackets, we can adjust them so easily with them buckles versus them other quick releases where you're rooting at them and then they end up breaking, which they all break. You can see here, this one's even cable tied because it's broke. So Nicole's just getting a scoop of crunch here and she's bringing over one of the gloves. I want to clean the drinker. The drinker's been lying here a good while and the water has gone stale. So I don't want them drinking that. Happy days, that's them sorted. Alright, so the girls are going up there now just to get that house ready for the next batch. So in here, we are looking at our next row of calves. So the ones I'm thinking of putting up are the biggest ones, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That calf there is going in a couple of days. It's a Belgian blue heifer calf. And these are all our newborn calves. No, sorry, that one there is about a week old. But these are the two that were born right during the middle of the storm at about 5 o'clock in the morning, the height of the bad weather. But there's a nice bit of an Angus that came out of one of our heifers. This little calf here, that's a little bull calf. That came out of our sick cow. It came out backwards as well, so it's very delicate of itself and it kind of lay all flimsy. It was like a rubber hose, as we call it, for the first few hours. You just lift his head and his head would bob around, and very small as well, but I'm pleased to tell you that it's drinking a lot of milk and it was upstanding this morning for the first time. What we'll do is, with that, the neck of them calves, is we'll feed them often. We'll not try to put a lot of milk in at one time, so that calf will probably be fed 3-4 times, small amounts, till it gets big enough and strong enough, and it should be okay. But as you can see, it's 2 calves in the 1 pen. We don't want that, so let's get a few of these moved. Now we'll lift this wee calf because I don't want to stress it out trying to make it walk. There you go, don't kick me in the mouth. Then we're down. You can have a little look at the pattern there on the head and you remember, we'll give you a wee update on that calf in the next week or more. I'm going to leave the girls here now to work away. They're going to clean out all them pens, get them disinfected and ready for the next calves to come up. So the calves, we did move. They're up here. So I haven't got jackets put on them yet. I've just one jacket on and I'm going to have to take it off because the strap is broken on it. Alright, so it's a Wednesday morning now after that storm. Things have settled down. It's an absolutely cracking day. Look at that blue sky. You couldn't complain about that. So there is a second part to this video. And it's a big part, and it's too long to share in this video as well. And that comes in the form of how we got our cows milked. We said in the video we were going to get a generator. We thought we were going to get a generator, but that didn't happen. Things took a big U-turn, but I think at the end of it all, it probably worked out better for us, if that makes sense. But there is a big, huge part to it. I'm working now today. I've already done quite a bit here behind us. I don't want to show you just yet. But we put up a really good thing here, which is going to fix a lot of problems with that roof. Straight away, and it should be solid and much solider now. Our wall will be, everything will be fixed up for Sunday, that's all we'll say. Skylights will be put on. Hopefully my mate's coming now maybe this evening or tomorrow to sort on them. We've already picked some bits and pieces sheeting up. But one segment I forgot to tell you on the video was we had a lucky escape in this calving pen. We can't really call it escape. We were kind of prepared for it, but it was a good thing we were, because we had 2 cows, a cow and a heifer to calve. You've seen the calves, born at about 5 o'clock in the morning, right in the height where you could not come up here. But the heifer was in the calving pen, but I came up here at 1 o'clock and put her back out of it because I knew that wall was unsafe. And I wanted to get the loader up against it, which I had. The loader was up against that, you see, in the tractor. So as I say about this whole storm and all these sheds, all these things can be repaired. Your life can't be replaced. And they're the things you have to protect. And our animals are all right, we're all right, and hopefully you're all right. And we'll see you Sunday.